All right, gentlemen, today we are getting into the wall traps and Orcs Must Die death trap. So we're going to start right here with our C tier traps. When it comes to the push trap and the spike wall, I just feel like your other options on the floor or the ceiling are going to give you better options to do what these do, and you're going to want to free up your wall space, definitely in higher difficulties over these traps, as well as the wall blades. I feel like there's better traps that you can fit into the spots that this fits into, as well as it's going to fall off as you move up. But it is good. The wall blades is good at giving you combos because it is a fast acting trap. But that is for our C tier. And then when we're moving into our Bs, we're looking at the wall charger. Now this is an extremely good trap. Like, it's strong, it hits strong. I just don't like the distance on it. And I think the main reason it's falling in B tier is because Shock Zapper is so strong. You're always usually going to want that on your ceiling traps. So that is already adding electric to your enemies. So this one kind of falls off due to that fact and the range. That's the only reason. The trap itself is good. It applies the effect even when they're just like walking next to it, so it gives them electricity. But I do feel like the shock zapper is just so strong, and you're going to have that electric combo already that you're going to probably leave the wall charger behind. And then next up we have our arrow wall, which, you know, the oldest school trap in the game. You guys probably already know about it, but I do have it landing in my B tier. And then another one that is very arguably could be an A tier is the saw blade launcher. And the only reason I'm not putting it in A tier and I'm putting it in B tier is just because you do have to have a completely enclosed space to make this thing, you know, feel like an A tier trap. If you don't have a complete enclosed space, you know, this trap falls off tremendously and it can't do much damage. You can do some things with like a barricade and, you know, horizontally putting it, but then you can only put it, you know, near the ground, and you can't use it quite as much. So that is kind of why it falls into B tier. But the spots where you can use this thing and you do have an enclosed kill box, I do recommend you taking this trap and trying it out, because it will add a lot of combos points, and it is a good trap. And then next up we have our A tiers, and for this one we're going to start right here with the wall scorcher. So different from the electricity, I feel like this will help you save up a floor spot if you don't want to take brimstone, and still add the fire effect to a lot of the enemies. And the range on this thing is fantastic. It has a pretty good duration. It lasts for 3 seconds, so you're going to get most things. If you put this thing in front of your kill box and then, like, you know, to mid kill box, you're going to have the fire effect on most of the enemies that die. So that is why this one hits my A tier list, is a lot to do with that range and, you know, how effective it is dealing with just front to back of your kill box. So, or side to side of your kill box, should I say. And then we got the bomb dispenser and the magic orb. I do feel like bounce traps are very powerful in the game. And for these two right here, the bomb dispenser, it does not need to be triggered. So you can really set this thing up very high on ceilings and have it dropping down the 900 damage from a lot of spots that other, you know, traps can't take advantage of. And then the same thing with the magic orb. You can set this thing very far from your kill box and have it constantly shooting through your kill box without the trap having to be triggered, and it will penetrate multiple enemies and things like that. So I do think this the bounce traps in general, to me, are very strong in the game. And then last but not least, of course, the grinder, extremely hard-hitting trap. As long as you, well, not long hitting, hard hitting should I say, but it's like a dot, but you just have to get them frozen, slowed, or something right in front of it. And that's kind of why it's not going in my S tier. And it has a very, very short distance window as well. It's like 1 square. So you have to have a very special kill box. Well, not, you know, just a small kill box to take full advantage of this. And you do need other traps that are going to help slow enemies down in front of this thing. And then you can take full advantage of the grinder. And it feels really, really good when you do. Like I said, when you watch their health, it really is ticking down if you can get them like frozen or slowed really good right in front of it. And then last up on our list here is our S tier trap. I do feel like the Morningstar shooter is above all the other traps. Just the space that it fills up, it nearly takes no space. It has a very, very good, it is a bounce trap, but it is triggerable, but it will trigger multiple traps even if they're extremely high on the ceiling. So it is a very strong trap in the game. And like I said, it takes up no space. So you can put 4 of these things in the spot of 1 normal wall trap, and then 4 of these is doing over 2,000, you know, like 2,200 damage nearly. So it is a very, very good trap. I think anybody that is running with almost nearly any map, you're going to want the Morningstar shooter on your list, and it definitely in the higher difficulties, this thing stays on point and it stays very, very strong. So Morningstar shooter is the top for me. I take it in nearly every single situation that I'm in, and it always pulls me through, guys. It is a great trap. And then we'll go back through these tiers real fast here. So like I said, for our A tiers, the bounce traps, very good, guys. The tops in the game, I think just because these two are always triggering without having to be triggered by an enemy, it could be detrimental at times, but then it could be very, very strong as long as you're using them properly and putting them in the right spots. And then our wall scorcher to add some fire effect, and our grinder is going to be one of the high damage ones. And then if you pair that grinder with the hook shot, you know, that's always fun to do as well. And then our B tiers, and like I said about these B tiers, man, the wall charger and the saw blade launcher, I kind of wouldn't even argue anybody putting those in A tier. Definitely the wall charger. If you're not taking the shock zapper on the ceiling, you probably, and you've got a small enough kill box, the wall charger is going to be an option, a good option, but I do think a lot of people take that shock zapper, me included, because it is very strong. And then, like I said, when you have an enclosed kill box, the saw blade launcher is a very, very good trap as well. So, you know, very balanced when it comes to all these wall traps. I enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed all the traps in the games, guys. All right, gentlemen, so when we go from here, I am going to go back. I'm going to go through all my tier lists and really go through the feedback from the community. I got a lot of great feedback and a lot of great ideas for different trap combinations to try out. So I'm going to go through, and then also we had patches that have coming out with different traps being added, you know, like the barricade and things like that. So I will have more of a definitive loadout tier list soon. And with all of the community feedback that I got on all my tier lists, it really helped me hone my game and improve everything that I have been doing. Because obviously I'm one person, and I'm going to give you the best traps that got me through the game personally, through all of the bosses and, you know, on max difficulty and different things like that. But with all of the community feedback that I have received and all of the great ideas and different trap combinations to try, it gave me a lot of stuff to test out and really find out how powerful different combinations can be. So soon I will have a loadout tier list that is going to, you know, encapsulate kind of all these tier lists and all of the things that I've learned from the community, and really bring you guys a definitive loadout that you're going to want to take. Maybe we'll go by mission, but for sure we'll set up at least like 3 or 4 very, very strong loadouts for different situations that are going to be very effective. So if I really do appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I will catch you on the next one.